Singapore. The tone of Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak's opening address at this year's UMNO General Assembly was not unexpected. This would be the party's last gathering before the general election, which is due to be held by August next year. He repeated the same messages on loyalty and unity raised in the previous two assemblies. But this year's message came with a subtle reminder on UMNO's track record in improving the conditions of minorities in Malaysia. Loyalty and unity. At the 2015 UMNO General Assembly, Najib reminded then Deputy Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin that the key role of the Deputy UMNO President was to assist the President, and that any criticism toward party leaders should not be aired in public. At that time, Mr. Muhyiddin was already asking awkward questions about Mr. Najib's role in the 1MDB scandal and the Rm 2.6 billion, $640 million, donation in his personal bank account. He was subsequently sacked from the party in 2016 for his continued criticism of the Prime Minister. Similarly, at the 2016 UMNO General Assembly, Mr. Najib issued a call for personal support and loyalty from delegates. He also urged Muslims in the country to unite as he painted a grim picture of the country being ruled by the Chinese majority Democratic Action Party, DAP, if the opposition were to come to power. In contrast, in his speech at this year's UMNO General Assembly, Mr. Najib did not single out any particular leader for disloyalty, ostensibly because all his critics have been removed from the party. His position as party president and that of this deputy Zahid Hamidi's are secure, because delegates have agreed that they will not be challenged. Unsurprisingly, he also continued to paint a gloomy situation should UMNO lose and the opposition move into power, a scenario he said will lead to the relegation of the role of Islam and the loss of respect for the monarchical institution. He also painted the opposition as a DAP-led coalition that aimed to create a secular state. These are typical UMNO moves ahead of an election. UMNO a multicultural party? What was surprising this year was that Mr. Najib also sought to portray UMNO as a multiracial party. One issue that I want to clarify is that UMNO is not a racist party. If it is, how can we be accepted as the leader for other parties from different ethnic groups over the years, he said. Mr. Najib also went on to emphasize how UMNO's developmental plans have benefited Chinese and Indian communities, for instance through the Malaysian Indian Blueprint to aid Malaysian Indian businesses and workers. He added, I am shouldering the responsibility to oversee the interests of 32 million Malaysian regardless of race, descent, ideology, or religion. It appears from his speech that Mr. Najib is attempting to strike a fine balance between drumming up the Muslim vote on the one hand, while carefully stressing his credentials in protecting the interests of minorities in Malaysia. Even though the UMNO General Assembly was primarily a chance for Mr. Najib to consolidate his position within the party before the elections, it seems he was also using it as a platform to reach out to voters, especially minorities. This is one slick move.